Hello there you guys, welcome to one of my videos. According to El Nacional, Manchester United have held talks with Zinedine Zidane. Zidane rejected the Newcastle job as he's monitoring Man United and France jobs. Reports from Spain said earlier on this season that Zinedine Zidane is not interested in becoming Manchester United manager if Solskjaer gets sacked. Zidane is actually enjoying life away from football management. He's got a decent pedigree behind him, won a lot of trophies when he was Real Madrid manager. He's managerless at the moment. Now, Cristiano Ronaldo is saving Ole Gunnar Solskjaer's job. Ronaldo recently saved Solskjaer in the 2-2 draw against Atalanta because Ronaldo scored twice in stoppage time at the end of both halves. Ronaldo scored the winner in the reverse fixture against Atalanta at Old Trafford. Ronaldo also scored the winner against Villarreal earlier on this season. Ronaldo also scored in the 3-0 win against Tottenham last weekend. Ronaldo has 9 goals in all competitions since he re-signed. Manchester United have got to stop relying on Ronaldo. Ronaldo is the best player in the world overall. Don't forget, back in September he got named Premier League Player of the Month. Ronaldo has got a contract with Man United until 2023. There's an option of a further year. Ronaldo receives £480,000 a week, so he's the highest earner at Man United. He wears the number 7 shirt, and we got Ronaldo for 19.8 million with add-ons included. But yet, if it wasn't for Ronaldo, there's a good chance that Solskjaer would have gone by now. In regards to Solskjaer, he is under pressure. Manchester United recently drew 2-2 with Atalanta, but we won our last league game against Tottenham 3-0. So after the Tottenham win, I presume some pressure eased off Solskjaer. We may have to stick with Solskjaer until January at least, because obviously Ed Woodward is refusing to sack Solskjaer. Woodward's not leaving Manchester United until January. Many at Manchester United thought Solskjaer would have been sacked after the 5-0 defeat to Liverpool at Old Trafford the other week, because there was reports circulating out after that game saying that the Man United stars were losing faith in Solskjaer, and Solskjaer was losing the fans. And after that game against Liverpool, Solskjaer refused to resign. And he said it was his darkest day as a manager. But I think Solskjaer would resign if he cared about the club. Manchester United must pay Solskjaer £7.5 million if they decide to sack him, because in the summer Solskjaer signed a new contract with the club until 2024. There's an option of a further year. We made a mistake giving Solskjaer that contract because I can assure he won't see it out. And a lot of Manchester United fans will agree with me on that aspect. This season is Solskjaer's third full season as Man United manager. And I did mention at the start of this season that this season was going to be massive for Solskjaer, because he's got big expectations to exceed, but I just feel as though that the expectations are far too high for Ole Gunnar Solskjaer to exceed as Man United manager, and I think Solskjaer has lowered the standards at the club as manager, and he's in a position that he shouldn't really be in. I hate to say this regarding Solskjaer, revert back to what I've said before, but I'm just being realistic. All Manchester United fans want Solskjaer to succeed as Manchester United manager, but unfortunately he's not going to. Solskjaer has not yet won a trophy as Manchester United manager. We haven't won a trophy since 2017. That's nowhere near good enough to our standards. I adore Solskjaer a lot. Reflecting on what he's done for the club, at the end of the day, Solskjaer is a club legend. He endured 11 years as a player for Man United and he flourished under Sir Alex Ferguson's guidance. And Solskjaer did have a proven pedigree when he was a player at Man United because he won a lot of trophies as a player with us. But unfortunately, as a manager, he doesn't have a proven pedigree. Before Manchester United, he was at Molde. He won a few Norwegian titles at Molde, but they're not a big club. And before Molde, he was at Cardiff, and his record at Cardiff was terrible. The reason he got sacked from Cardiff is because he got them relegated, only endured a short tenure with them. Solskjaer has been in charge of Manchester United for almost 3 years. And reflecting how long he's been at the football club, he has gained some managerial experience and he's learnt quite a bit on the job. But there's still plenty of things that Ole has got to learn because he's still a young coach. Manchester United enjoyed a very good summer transfer window this year. Made 4 signings, brought Tom Heaton in on a free from Villa, brought Sancho in from Dortmund, brought Varane in from Real Madrid, and we re-signed Cristiano Ronaldo after 12 years. We spent around 141 million in the summer transfer window, plus Solskjaer received strong backing by the board. Darren Fletcher backed him, John Murtough backed him, Ed Woodward backed him, and the Glazers also surprisingly backed him. Ole has enjoyed like 5 transfer windows now as permanent Man United manager. And Manchester United have got a very good squad. It's a title winning squad, revert back to what I've said before, so in reality Manchester United should be winning the Premier League this season, or at least competing for the league. Well, at the start of this season, Solskjaer did mention that his ambition was to win the Premier League this season. Manchester United have not won the Premier League since 2013. So Solskjaer has no more excuses. Manchester United appointed Solskjaer in December 2018 to replace Jose Mourinho. He's been permanent Manchester United manager since March 2019. And in certain aspects, Solskjaer has brought consistency back. He has made good signings as Manchester United manager. So far, Solskjaer has signed 14 players. So in the summer of 2019, he recommended Daniel James and Wan-Bissaka and Harry Maguire in. In January 2020, he recommended Bruno Fernandes in and Odi Nagala in on loan. In the summer of 2020, he brought Edison Cavani in, Donnie Van Der Beek, Alex Telles, Amad Diallo and Facundo Pellistri. And like I've said, in this year's summer transfer window, he brought Heaton in, Sancho, Varane and re-signed Cristiano Ronaldo after 12 years. We've spent over £400 million under the Solskjaer era. Ollie's also got rid of a lot of players since he's come in, which he obviously knew he had to do. You know, he's loaned players out, he's got rid of players permanently. He loaned quite a few players out in this year's summer transfer window. He loaned Ethan Laird out, Andres Pereira, Axel Tuanzebe, Brandon Williams, Facundo Pellistri and Tahith Chon. The players Solskjaer's got rid of permanently, obviously he offloaded Daniel James in this year's summer transfer window. He was the only player Manchester United sold in the summer transfer window, so that was disappointing from a Manchester United perspective. Ollie also released Sergio Romero and Joel Pereira. He also offloaded Agallo, Fossa Mensah and Rojo back in January. He also offloaded James Wilson and Borthwick Jackson. Ollie's also offloaded players like Young, Valencia, Smalling, Darmian. Also offloaded Fellaini back in January 2019. He offloaded Angel Gomez, Herrera. Also offloaded Sanchez and Lukaku. So there you go, and you can say that some progress has been made under Solskjaer because he's got us to semi-finals. He got us to the quarter-finals of the FA Cup last season. Last season he got us to the Europa League final. That was his first major final as Man United manager, but unfortunately we didn't win that final. So there you go, and last season he got us a second place finish, and in his first full season he got us a third place finish. So revert back to what I said before. What Solskjaer produced in his first full season and his second full season, he was looking to build on that this season. I also like the way Solskjaer develops the youth, and Solskjaer's more or less giving everybody their chances to express themselves, including the young players. But I'll make an admission now. I expected Solskjaer to do a lot worse than he has done. So in that aspect, I am shocked. You've got to say he has done an alright job to say the squad he was left with when he got appointed in as Man United manager. You know, Solskjaer, don't forget, is inheriting players that other managers have brought in. Obviously, there's still matter here from the Moyes era. There's still some players here from the Louis van Gaal era, but the vast majority of the players Louis van Gaal brought in are no longer here now. And obviously there's still some players here from the Jose Mourinho era, but we've got rid of quite a lot of players who Mourinho brought in. There's only two here from the Ferguson era, that's Jones and David De Gea. But Solskjaer knew when he'd taken over at Man United, it was going to be a massive job. And he knew he had a lot to do when he came in. You know, if Solskjaer gets sacked, he'll be the fourth permanent manager to be sacked since Ferguson. Man United have sacked 3 managers already since Ferguson. Sacked David Moyes, sacked Louis van Gaal and sacked Jose Mourinho. Manchester United have been playing catch-up since Ferguson retired. A lot of United fans predicted it was all going to go wrong when Ferguson retired, which obviously it has done. No one's going to replicate what Ferguson did at Man United. You know, Ferguson brought success to Manchester United. He won 30-odd trophies, including 13 Premier League titles. But Ferg didn't settle in straight away because he didn't win out in his first 4 years at Man United. So that just indicates that it takes some managers time to settle in. Ferguson was a long-serving manager as well. He endured a 27-year managerial tenure at Man United. The only mistake Ferguson made was recommending David Moyes in when he retired. But like I say, Manchester United have got very good players. You know, obviously, we've got the best player in the world overall in Cristiano Ronaldo. You know, obviously, we've got Mason Greenwood. That's also very, very good. Greenwood played recently in the 2-2 draw against Atalanta. He got an assist in the game. Greenwood didn't start against Atalanta. Obviously, he came on for the injured Raphael Varane. Obviously, in the last two games, Solskjaer's gone with the 3-5-2 formation. I don't think he'll go with that, though, on a regular basis, because, like I've mentioned before, he'll find it hard to stick with that formation. I think for the City game, he could revert back to the 4-2-3-1. But yeah, Mason Greenwood, he scored a stunning goal in the 4-2 defeat to Leicester earlier on this season. He scored, 4 goals in the league so far this season. At one point, though, Greenwood did go a long time without scoring. But despite that, he's been an absolute revelation since he broke into our senior squad. Greenwood made his senior debut for Man United back in 2019. He's been a United player since the age of 7, so he's been part of the club for a long time. And last season, Greenwood signed a new 4-year contract. You've got Marcus Rashford. That's also good. I think Rashford's done well in quite a few games since he's come back. Rashford, though, was poor against Atalanta recently. He didn't start against Tottenham last Sunday, but he came on and got an assist. Sorry, not an assist, he scored the third goal, should I say. Didn't they? Rashford scored in the 3-2 win against Atalanta at Old Trafford. He also scored on his comeback in the 4-2 defeat to Leicester. Rashford was very poor in the 5-0 defeat to Liverpool. He played an horrendous back pass in that game that could have been costly. But anyway, Rashford, he was out with a shoulder injury for a while at one point, and don't forget at one point he had to have an operation on his shoulder. Rashford has been part of the club for a long time. He's been a United player since the age of 7, and he's been in our senior squad since 2016. Rashford's got a contract with Man United until 2023. Jadon Sancho, he's also a good player as well, but Sancho has endured a poor start to his Manchester United career. And reflecting on that, fans have been getting on Sancho's back, but I think Solskjaer is to blame for Sancho's poor performances, because when Solskjaer plays Sancho, he persistently plays him out of position. There's quite a few games though Sancho doesn't even play in. He didn't start against Atalanta recently, but he did come off the bench. I said Sancho will do well at Man United providing that he's used correctly. It does take some players time to settle in. Does Sancho have a future at Manchester United? Well, earlier on this season, Borussia Dortmund warned Man United about the Jadon Sancho problem. Dortmund's CEO came out and said that Sancho's lack of game time at Man United is hurting my soul. We got Sancho in a deal worth £78 million with add-ons included. He's got a contract with Man United until June 2026. There's an option of a further year. You've got Edison Cavani. That's also very good. Cavani didn't start against Atalanta recently, but he did come on. He scored in the 3-0 win against Tottenham. It was a good goal as well by Cavani. He dinked it over Hugo Lloris. Cavani should have scored in the first half against Tottenham. He had a very good headed chance, just went wide of the post. You know, Cavani was playing alongside Ronaldo against Tottenham. That was intriguing. They play well together. Unfortunately though, I think Cavani's going to be leaving next year. I can't say I want him to leave though, with the impact he's made since he's come in. Earlier on this season, Cavani had injury. Cavani has got under a year left on his contract. It was back in May he signed that 1-year contract extension. I think this season is Cavani's second full season at Man United. Don't forget, Man United got him on a free transfer. And he's got a good pedigree behind him. Look at the amount of silverware he won when he was at PSG. And not only that, he was a long-serving player at PSG. You've got Bruno Fernandes. That's also very, very good. He's one of our best players and he's one of the best signings we've made since Ferguson retired. Fernandes obviously played in the 2-2 draw against Atalanta recently. Played well. Got an assist for Ronaldo's first goal. It was a lovely back heel as well by Bruno Fernandes. Bruno Fernandes' contribution to 2 goals against Tottenham last weekend was world class. Fernandes starts the vast majority of Manchester United's games. He's been consistent in a lot of games for Man United, but on the other side of things, there's been quite a few games where he's looked off the pace. Fernandes has been a Manchester United player for almost 2 years now. We got him from Sporting Lisbon back in January 2020. Last season he won Player of the Year and he's won Player of the Month quite a few times, reflecting on his good performances. Earlier on in the season, Fernandes did make it clear that he wants to stay at Man United. When Fernandes first came in, he said he's come to Manchester to win trophies. Earlier on in the season, it said Fernandes was close to signing a 5-year contract worth £250,000 a week with the signing of Ronaldo. At the moment, Fernandes has got a contract with Man United till 2025. There's an option of a further 12 months. Donnie Van Der Beek, he's also a good player as well, but I haven't had much of a perception on him at Manchester United, like I've said before, because Van Der Beek doesn't get enough game time. And I think Solskjaer needs to start Van Der Beek, especially in the Premier League, because he's a good player. Now, he surprisingly came on in the 2-2 draw against Atalanta, and he had a good chance towards the end. That came from a clever run, so he actually could have won it for Manchester United. Prior to the 5-0 game against Liverpool, Solskjaer did admit that Van Der Beek is frustrated and disappointed over his situation at Old Trafford. Don't forget, earlier on this season, Van Der Beek was furious with Solskjaer. But Van Der Beek's endured what a difficult 18, 19 months at Man United. This season is his second full season at Man United. You know, we got Van Der Beek in a deal worth 40 million with add-ons included. He's got a contract with Man United till 2025. There's an option of a further year, and he's versatile. He can play in 3 different roles. Pogba's also a good player. Not only a good player, he's an imperative player as well. But I've got to say, Pogba was very, very poor in the 2-2 draw with Atalanta. You know, he made quite a few errors, and he just looked very, very sloppy. Pogba wants out. Pogba has refused to sign a new contract. Well, like I updated you not so long ago, Mark Ogden came out and said that Man United are prepared to let Paul Pogba leave on a free transfer next summer after accepting that the midfielder will not sign a contract. Pogba's current contract at Man United expires next summer. Before the start of this season, it said Pogba rejected a new Man United contract offer. Andy Mitten said from The Athletic earlier on this season, though, like updated you, that Manchester United offered Paul Pogba £400,000 a week to stay at Manchester United. That would see Pogba become the second highest earner at the club. At the moment, Pogba receives around 290 grand a week. But Romano said after the game against Liverpool the other week that Pogba wants Solskjaer sacked, and reports were coming out saying that Pogba snubbed Solskjaer after Liverpool defeat, and reflecting on that, contract talks got put on hold. Pogba's got 2 games to serve in the league, hasn't he? Pogba got sent off in the 5-0 defeat to Liverpool. He didn't start against Liverpool, he come on as a substitute, but I think Solskjaer should have started Pogba against Liverpool, and for Solskjaer not starting him against Liverpool, I heavily criticised Solskjaer. I think there's a good chance Pogba will go back to Juventus because he did endure 4 good years with them before he rejoined Man United. He's also been relentlessly linked with Real Madrid. PSG have been in for him, Barcelona have been in for him. It said earlier on this season he'd been offered to Barcelona, and Inter Milan have been in for him before, so reflecting on all of that, he's had a long running transfer saga. He's our most expensive signing at the moment because we paid 89 million for him, and this season is Pogba's 6th season at the club since he rejoined. He's won 3 trophies at Man United so far. You've got Luke Shaw, that's a good left back. I thought Luke Shaw was poor against Atalanta recently. Obviously he was playing as a left wing back against Atalanta. Against Atalanta recently, Luke Shaw couldn't really produce anything. You know, he lacked that attacking intent, didn't really provide any width. There again, though, I thought Shaw was good against Tottenham last weekend. That's his best performance of this season so far. And obviously Shaw was playing as a wing-back against Tottenham. Where's the Luke Shaw from last season? Because last season, Luke Shaw was absolutely superb. He was far superior last season to how he has been so far this season. Earlier on this season, though, Luke Shaw had a minor injury and he was out with illness. But I reckon Shaw's had a good career at Man United despite his injuries. Shaw's been a Manchester United player for like 7.5 years, so he's been a long-serving player, and he's been our first choice left back for a while and still remains our first choice left back despite the arrival of Tellez. Shaw's got under 2 years left on his contract. I think it said at one point we're in the process of extending Luke Shaw's contract. You know, Tellez is a good left back as well, but I haven't had much of a perception on him at Manchester United. Because he doesn't really get a lot of game time, does he? Tellez will only play when Luke Shaw's not available. The reason we brought Tellez in was to provide competition for Shaw. You know, we got Telles for 15.4 million from Porto last year. Earlier on this season, Telles was out with injury, but I think there's a good chance Telles will leave Man United next year. And Wan-Bissaka, you know, he's a good right back. I think he's been in scintillating form in recent weeks. He's one of the best right backs we've had since Gary Neville. You know, this season is Wan-Bissaka's third full season at Man United. We got him 50 million from Crystal Palace back in the summer of 2019. And you've got Raphael Varane, that's a very good centre-half. I've got some bad news regarding Varane. I'm hearing that Varane is going to be out up to a month with injury. Like I said, Varane came off injured in the first half against Atalanta, and reflecting on that, Solskjaer then changed to a back four. Varane's just recently come back from a groin injury. He was out with that groin injury for a few weeks. Varane made his return in the 3-0 win against Tottenham. What a performance he did put out against Tottenham. You know, he looked well composed, he was good in the air, and he showed the ability to play out from the back, and defensively he was good. Varane's done well in a lot of games for Man United so far, but there has been a couple of games where he's looked off the pace a bit. We got Varane in a deal worth 41 million with add-ons included. Man United paid around 34 million up front. Varane's got a contract with Man United till 2025. There's an option of a further year. Varane to Man United was official just before kick-off against Leeds, which was the opening day. But he is regarded as one of the best centre-halves in the world. He's highly experienced as well, which is beneficial. And he's got a good pedigree behind him. He won a lot of trophies when he was at Real Madrid. Harry Maguire, you know, a good centre-half when he wants to be. I think he's been poor in a lot of games so far this season. Maguire, I thought, was poor against Atalanta recently. Don't forget, he was the one Maguire that played Zapata onside for Atalanta's second goal. Maguire, though, did play well against Tottenham last weekend. That's probably his best performance so far this season. Maguire hasn't been that good since he come back from that calf injury. Maguire should have never played in the 4-2 defeat to Leicester because he wasn't fully fit, and Solskjaer did rush him back too soon. Maguire had ligament damage in his ankle towards the end of last season. We overpaid for Maguire though, got him in a deal worth 80 million. He's the most expensive centre-half in the world at the moment and the second most expensive signing at the club. And Eric Bailly, you know, he's a good centre-half as well. I think he should get more opportunities. You know, Bailly played very well against Atalanta recently, made some good interceptions and interventions. That was the first time Bailly had played since the 1-0 defeat to West Ham in the Carabao Cup earlier on in the season. My only element of concern about Eric Bailly is injury prone, so in that aspect he is a liability. Towards the end of last season he signed a new contract with Man United till 2024, there's an option of a further year. But he lost his place in the team a while ago, didn't he, Eric Bailly, because of the arrival of Varane in the summer transfer window. And for some reason Solskjaer prefers Lindelof ahead of him. Lindelof's actually out with injury at the moment. He picked up an injury in training before the game against Atalanta. I don't know if he's going to be fit against City. Maybe he will be. You got De Gea as well. That's a very good goalkeeper. He's done really well so far this season. And Henderson's also a good goalkeeper as well. But Henderson wants a loan move away from Man United next year, because he doesn't get his chances. So anyway guys, with more videos coming up soon, drop your comments, likes below on the channel. If you do, consider subscribe as always, and take care. God bless. See you all again very, very soon.